Okay, thank you so much for tuning in this morning, everyone, or this evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. I mentioned Baba Haridas just now. He's this beautiful Indian monk who passed away, I think, just a couple of years ago. And he dedicated his whole life, his spiritual practice, to the practice of yoga. He also opened a few orphanages in India, and he stopped speaking as part of his spiritual practice. So he was a silent monk, and he communicated through writing on a chalkboard. And in yoga, there's ethics that we have to abide by as people who practice yoga. And one of the first ones is ahimsa, which translates as nonviolence. And it's followed by satya, which translates as truthfulness. And these two go hand in hand. That in order to be truthful, we also need to be kind. And in order to be kind, we sometimes need to be truthful. And Baba Haridas goes on to say that truth and nonviolence, so satya, truth, and nonviolence, ahimsa, are two wings of a disciple about to take off in search of freedom. So truth and nonviolence are the two wings of a student taking off in search of freedom. That we need both of these qualities, these ethical observances, in order to experience freedom. We need to be able to seek out what is true and then also act in a non-violent, non-harming way. And so, this always reminds me, I'm not sure if you've ever noticed in like kindergarten or in little kids' schools, primary schools, they have this usually acronym that says THINK, and it usually goes along the lines like think before you speak. So before you speak, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And different schools have different acronyms for it. But I think that's a really relevant practice for truth and nonviolence, is when you're speaking or about to speak, what you're saying, is it kind? Firstly, is it kind, non-harming? And secondly, is it truthful? Are you communicating truth? And then finally, is it necessary? Is it necessary to even say something? And I have a lot of conservative friends because I grew up in a very conservative, highly Christian, small country town. A lot of my friends would go to church. And then I also have my hippy-dippy yoga friends. So on Facebook, I have a whole spectrum of different ideas just floating about, from highly ultra-conservative right-wing to super hippy-dippy left-wing. And I see both extremes all the time. And, whenever you're on social media and you see these people with opposing extremes that can be very different to your own, sometimes you might want to say something. Which we all know the trickiness of saying something on social media. So I always like to reflect and just be like, is it kind? Is it truthful? And then most importantly, is it necessary to say something? And, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not necessary to say anything. And then other times it is. And that's why we do this practice of practicing truthfulness and nonviolence. So that we can live in a world and speak our truth while at the same time being kind towards other human beings. All right. And last thing about that, it's important to reflect about that and how you communicate to yourself. Before you say something to yourself, is what you're saying to yourself truthful? Is what you're saying to yourself kind? And do you really need to say it to yourself? Or can you just, be in a place of quiet, silence? Baba Haridas used to say, when the mind is silent, the heart speaks. So if you're always talking to yourself, you never give the heart a moment to speak. We'll start on our mats, so you can come to a comfortable seat on your mat. And then close your eyes. And once your eyes are closed, can you take a deep breath into your body? And a full breath out. And as you flow through your yoga practice today, if any thoughts surface, can you ask yourself, is it kind? Is your thought kind? Is it truthful? And is it necessary in this moment? And if it's not necessary, when the thought surfaces, all you have to do is say, no, thank you. No, thank you. And if the thought is unkind, again, no, thank you. And if it's not truthful, then just no, thank you. Paying attention to how we speak to ourselves. And please bring your hands together in front of your chest, palms touching. Full breath in. Full breath out. May the practice of yoga help us cultivate ahimsa and satya, practicing non-harming, compassion, and truthfulness. And blink your eyes open. Please come right into downward dog. So take your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, send your bum back and up towards the sky. And drive your hands forward and down into the floor. The tops of your thighs go back and up towards the sky. Draw your front low ribs in. And then focus your eyes on one spot between your feet. Take a slow, steady breath in. And a slow, steady breath out. Slow, steady, ujjayi breath into the body. Slow, steady breath out. And as you keep that breath steady, slow, and deep, can you press the thumb and index finger knuckle mound firmly into the floor? And as you drive more of the inner hand into the ground, it provides for a more direct translation of the ground reaction force. So when you push your hands into the ground reaction force comes up the arms. And when you press more through the inner hand, specifically the second metacarpal, the second index finger knuckle mound, that ground reaction force goes, I guess you could say, more cleanly up through the wrist joint, right into the interosseous membrane between the radius and your ulna, your forearm bones. And then that goes right up towards the elbow and right into the tricep. So the tricep almost has this nice clean line of force when we're pressing more through the inner hand. So that means your tricep wakes up. Huzzah. Roll the outer shoulders back, turn the inner biceps forward, Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Stack your shoulders so they're right over your wrists. Reach the center of your chest forward. You know, we get to a certain age where we start to really notice how we've become a little similar to our parents. And lately I've realized that I've started talking to myself quite a bit. And my dad used to do that all the time. He'd be walking around the house always talking to himself. And usually he would say quite, like, when I would catch what he'd say, you know, most of the time it was fine, just normal standard talk, but sometimes he could be quite mean to himself. So these days I try to be mindful of when I speak to myself out loud, I'm gonna at least be kind words. Reach the center of your chest forward, pelvis stays level with your shoulders, lower ribs pull in. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. And take both arms straight out in front of you, forehead on the ground. Press your pubic bone down into the floor. And as your pubic bone pushes down into the floor, you kind of feel your genitals smush into the ground. And you'll feel your lower back lengthen. So it creates more space in the lumbar spine. Keep lengthening your tailbone straight back. Pubic bone pressing down. And then try to internally rotate the legs a little more. And then slowly lift the legs up off the floor. Keep the knees straight, the legs long. The pubic bone pressing down. Good, and then slowly lift your head off the ground and look straight down at the floor so that the back of your neck is long. And then lift your arms up off the ground. Get your biceps level with your ears. Turn the palms up so the arms are externally rotating. And really try to reach those arms far forward. So like you're stretching your hands forward out of the shoulder sockets. Lift the arms up, lift the legs up, externally rotate those arms, turn those biceps up, lift the legs, lift the arms, everything lifts. And slide your hands right back beside your lower ribs. Plant your feet down. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw your shoulder blades back and down the back. Push your hands into the ground just a little bit and pull your hands back against the mat as if you're trying to pull your chest forward to the front of your mat. Hands pull back, chest pulls forward. Draw the shoulders down the back. Squeeze your elbows in towards the ribs. And tuck your toes. Lift your belly in. Push up, plank. Downward facing dog pose. Take a deep inhale into your body. And a full exhale. And step your right foot forward between your hands. Come onto your fingertips. Bend into your left knee. Reach the center of your chest forward. Draw your shoulders down the back. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Keep pressing the left thigh up, hugging the outer right hip in. Keep looking straight down at the floor. Reach both arms overhead. Biceps level with the ears. Okay, stay low on the legs. Keep pressing the left thigh up. Your belly can rest on your right thigh a little. You don't have to lift it too high, so stay low. Arms up. Biceps level with your ears. Turn the palms up. Left thigh presses up. Left glute is squeezing. 2 more breaths. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Okay, 1 last deep inhale. Exhale, both hands down, downward dog pose. Take a deep inhale into your body. Full exhale. So really push the inner hands down. Push down through the thumb knuckle, the index finger knuckle, the middle finger knuckle.
It allows for a more direct translation of the ground force reaction all the way to your triceps. Strong triceps. Step your left foot forward. Bend into your left knee with joy. As you bend into your left knee, press the right thigh up. Reach the center of your chest forward. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Keep pressing that right thigh high. Slow, steady breath. Push a little more through the feet. Stay this low. Inhale, just the arms overhead. Your belly can be on your left thigh. Keep hugging the outer left hip in. Bend deeply into the left knee. Keep pressing your right thigh up. Try to get those arms level with your ears. Turn the palms up. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Don't be afraid to work hard. 2 more breaths. Good. 1 last deep inhale. Exhale, both hands come down. Step forward, forward fold. Take your feet hip distance wide. Take your hands behind your calves, fingertips pointing downwards. Hands are on the backs of the Achilles tendon. Push the hands and the forearms forward into the calves. Press the calves back into the forearms. Let your head drop. Shoulders draw away from the ears. 3 more breaths. Two. One last full breath in and out. And hands to the front of your shins. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Let your chest elongate forward, please. Exhale, fold over your legs. Let your head release. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up towards the sky. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to your chest. Keep going. Inhale, reach both hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips on the ground. Step your right foot back. Stay low. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, both hands down, downward dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slow Ujjayi breath in. Steady Ujjayi breath out. Eyes are steady. You know what song I can't get out of my head? It's that Ariana Grande song. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. When I was telling you guys, if you have a thought that's unkind or untrue or not necessary, just say no thank you. And as soon as I said that, all I could think of was that Ariana Grande song. If you don't know what song I'm referring to, it's really good. I'll put it up on my Insta story or somewhere on my social media. So on our Facebook group, on our HAV Facebook group, I'll put it there. Put the YouTube link so that you can listen to the rest, to that music. It's kind of a good message. Thank you, next. Not necessary right now. Thank you. We're moving on. Push through both hands. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, step right foot forward. Stay low in the legs. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, hands come down, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate the spine. Hands are on the shins or fingertips are on the ground. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands all the way up towards the sky, reach tall. Exhale, hands to your chest. Keep that flow, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Step your left foot back. Stay low in the legs. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands down, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Pull the hands back against the mat. Inhale, upward dog. Keep pulling the hands back, chest forward. Downward facing dog. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Keep your breath steady. I want you to imagine two things. Imagine as if someone is holding on to your chest and your shoulders. And they're pulling your chest and your shoulders, let's say 5 to 10 centimeters forward, away from your legs. And then you have another person holding the very tops of your thigh bones, the tops of your thighs, near your hip creases. And they're pulling the tops of your thighs back and up. So there's an energy of the chest and the shoulders moving forward a little away from the thighs, as if someone's pulling them towards the front of your mat. And then the tops of the thighs move back and up. Press evenly through both hands. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Stay low. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, hands down. Step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your palms, step or jump, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Can you let the mind soften into the breathing? There's no need to really think because the mind is focused on the breath. Inhale, right leg lifts up to the sky. Keep both hips facing down. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. I'd walk your hands 1 foot forward, shift forward and lift the left leg up. Keep both hips facing down. So both hips face the floor. Center of the chest reaches forward. Keep lifting the left leg up. Both hips face down though. So I don't want you to do an open hip standing split. I want you to do a closed hip, which means both hips face down. And then you try to lift your left leg up as high as it will go. Have your fingertips on the floor, 1 foot in front of your foot, so you can focus on elongating your spine. If it's easy for you to elongate the spine, put your palms flat on the ground. Okay. Keep that back leg straight. Keep lifting that back thigh up high, high, high to the sky. Keep both hips facing down. Inhale, elongate your spine a little more forward. One more breath. Can you get your left leg up a little bit higher? Good. Exhale, walk your hands back so they're on either side of your right foot. Step your left foot far back.
Turn the left heel flat, warrior two pose.
Come all the way up. Bend deeply into your left knee. Square your chest towards the left wall. Look just off the tip of your right middle finger. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Take a moment to check out your feet. Can you have them more or less lined heel to heel? The back foot angles ever so slightly towards the front foot. Notice if you're tilting the pelvis forward, can you lengthen the tailbone down? Draw the front lower ribs in, and then lengthen the sides of your body up out of the pelvis. Your waists get long and tall as you look forward off the tip of that finger, as you stay deep in the legs. Three more breaths. Two. And one last deep breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way down towards the ground. Step back, downward dog pose. Shift about 10 centimeters forward, so you're not as deep in your downward dog. Bend your elbows and lower both elbows to the ground. Then come into dolphin pose. Send your butt back and up towards the sky. Take a steady breath in and a steady breath out. Step your feet together. Lift your right leg back and up. Keep both hips facing down. Both hips stay facing the floor. Come onto your left tippy toes. So lift your left heel high like you're wearing a really big stiletto on your left foot. Lift that right leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Good. Right foot comes down. Lift your left leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Keep pushing through both elbows, both forearms. Lift your right heel up nice and high. Lift your left leg high. Keep both hips facing down. Push to the elbows and forearms. Lift your left leg a little higher. Good. Left foot comes down. Shift the weight into the hands. Push up, downward dog pose. Right into downward dog. Take a full breath into your body. Full breath out. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Walk your hands 1 foot forward. Shift forward, lift the right leg up. So it's like standing splits, except both hips turn to face down. Straighten your right leg enthusiastically, especially if you're like more of a runner. It can be a little bit harder to straighten the legs because our hamstrings have adapted to being in a slightly shorter, more explosive state. So to find a little more length, sometimes we actually have to think about straightening our knee a bit more. So if you're a bit of a runner, really focus on straightening that right knee and then pressing the right thigh up. Walk your hands 1 foot in front of the left foot. Come onto your fingertips, elongate your spine. Nice long spine. If you're more bendy, your palms can be flat on the ground. Pull the hands back against the floor. Try to pull your chest forward. Elongate, elongate, elongate. Get your right leg up a little bit higher, but keep both hips turning down. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back beside your left foot. Step your right foot far back. Warrior two pose, come all the way up. Bend into your left knee. Square your chest to the right. Look forward off the tip of your left middle finger. Can you allow yourself to settle into the pose? Find a certain level of depth in the legs. A certain level of lifting up through the torso, of spreading those arms wide. Ahimsa and Satya are the two wings of a student taking off in search of freedom. Can you view one arm as truthfulness and the other arm as compassion, nonviolence? Spread those wings wide and you will fly far, young grasshoppers. Go a little lower in the legs. Keep the eyes steady. 3 more breaths. Notice if you're fidgeting. Be truthful with yourself. What are your habits and tendencies? Can you observe yourself with clarity? Do you need to fidget? Can you be steady? One last deep inhale. Cartwheel your hands all the way down to the ground. Step back, downward dog pose. Shift forward about 10 centimeters. Good, then begin to bend both elbows straight back towards your shins. Lower the elbows down, plop. Send your butt back and up. Walk your feet towards your face. Lift your left leg up. Stay here or kick up, pincha Hanumanasana. Maybe take both legs up. Hold for 5. Can you keep your breath steady? 4, breathe. Wherever you are, push your elbows and forearms down. Lift everything up. 2 more breaths. Try to stay with it. And 1. Awesome. Come down onto your knees. Come to a seated position. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, take your right arm underneath your left arm, eagle arms. Lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Bring your head in neutral. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. One more time. Really big breath in. Really big breath out. Inhale, both hands up to the sky. Reach tall. Exhale, other side. Left arm under right arm. Lift those elbows up to shoulder height. Can you have your head neutral? 3 breaths. Two. Slowly release. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, release. Both elbows and forearms down on the ground. Dolphin pose, other side. Tuck your toes, walk your feet in. Please lift your right leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Stay here or kick up, pincha. Hold for 5 breaths. Can you stay with it? 4. 3. 2. And 1 last breath. And slowly come all the way down. Downward dog pose. Send your butt back and up to the sky. Take a full breath into your body. Steady breath out. Inhale, right leg lifts up to the sky, please. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Walk your hands 1 foot forward. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Left leg lifts up. Keep both hips facing down. Put a little bend in your right knee. Reach your right hand back. And then your left hand back. Come up into aeroplane, lift the chest. Try to lift the torso until it's parallel to the floor. Can you keep both hips facing down? Straighten that left knee. All right, here we go. Inhale, you can do it. Both arms overhead. Full Virabhadrasana 3. Hold for 5. 4. Can you straighten those arms? Lift the arms, lift the back leg. 3. Good job, 2. Lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the back leg. Straighten that back knee. And exhale, both hands come down to the ground. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down towards the ground. Okay, inhale, reach both hands up. Anjaneyasana. Palms touch, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground. Step back, downward dog pose. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Walk your fingertips 1 foot forward. Keep both hips facing down, shift forward. Drop your back leg so it's parallel to the floor, or lift it so it's parallel to the ground. Reach your left hand back. Reach your right hand back, and then lift your chest up into airplane. It's good to come into poses differently. Most of the time in our classes, we come into Warrior 3 from like a standing pose. So it's nice to come from the ground up. It's just a different way for the muscles to have to work and the brain to have to work. And, you know, neuro mapping, brain mapping, working the brain and the body in different ways is really good for our brain and our muscles. Reach both arms overhead. You've got this. 5 breaths. 4 more breaths. Lift that back thigh up. 3, lift those arms. You've got it. It won't last forever. 2, straighten that right knee. 1 last breath. Lift the arms, lift the leg. And exhale, hands come down. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Drop your left knee to the ground. Inhale, reach both hands up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, cha-cha. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Okay, y'all, we're about to do my least favorite yoga pose in a moment, not just quite yet. Are you excited? Step your feet together. I am. It's good to do things that you don't always like. Come onto your fingertips. Come onto your tippy toes. Lift your heels. Shoulders are over your wrists. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, bend your knees. 5 hops. Maybe you get stuck in a handstand. 4 more breaths or 4 more hops. Push the floor away. 3 more breaths or 3 more hops. Keep pushing the floor away. 2, focus on your breathing. 1 last breath. Land your feet at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Hands all the way up towards the sky, deep inhale, reach up. And then hands to your chest. All right, here we go. Duncan's least favorite yoga pose. There's value sometimes in doing things that you don't always like. Good for the ego. Right. Take your hands to your sides. And then bring your hands behind you. 2 options. You can either make fists and take a knuckle sandwich, which is 2 fists pressing together behind your back. Or bring your fingertips behind you, turn them towards the spine, and then up the back for inverted prayer. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw the heads of your shoulders back in space a little. So that means you keep your elbows forward. Let your shoulders drop down the back. And then press the palms together. Good. Bend both knees. Step your left foot about 3 to 4 feet back. Inhale, lift your chest like you're nice and proud. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Pause once you're halfway and recommit to pressing into your back foot. Slide your right hip crease back. Good, and then continue to fold forward. Maybe your forehead comes towards your right shin. Hold for 5. You can keep your breath steady. 4. Keep pulling the right hip crease back. 3. Lift the inner arches of the feet. Press all 10 toes down. 1 last breath. All right, bend into your right knee. Look forward, shift forward. Lift the left leg up. You can keep both hips facing down. Hold for 5. The more you repeat a pose, the better you'll get at it. 3 more breaths. So we're gonna do warrior 3 poses for the rest of the class. I'm just joking. 2 more breaths. Keep both hips facing down, lift the left leg up. Lift the chest. 1 last breath in. Good. Step your feet together, stand all the way up. Good, release your hands. Come to Tadasana, close your eyes. Take 3 breaths here. Eyes closed, relax your shoulders. Notice if any thoughts come up, and if they do, is it kind? Are they kind? Are they true, and are they necessary? And if not, you might be like Ariana Grande and just say, thank you, next. Moving on, if they're unhelpful and unnecessary. Open your eyes, let's do the other side. Internally rotate your arms, bring your arms back. Either choose knuckle sandwich or palms together, turn the fingertips in towards the spine, and then up the back. Oh, such a brutal pose. Well, for me at least. Whew, love it. Bend both knees. It's nice to have a challenge. If everything was easy all the time, I think that would get very boring very quickly. Where's our opportunity for growth if we don't have a challenge? Both hips face forward. Inhale, lift the chest, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Bring your head towards the left shin bone. Stay anchored through the back foot. Now, keep pulling the left hip crease back. Lift the inner arches of both feet. Press all 10 toes down. And then breathe. 3 more breaths. Can you really allow yourself to breathe? Listen to your breath. Good, inhale, lift halfway up, please. Chest is parallel to the floor. Bend into your left knee, shift forward, slowly, slow. Use your left glutes to lift you up. Keep both hips facing down. Lift the chest. Lift the back leg. 5 more breaths. 4. The chest lengthens forward, that right hip turns down, the inner right thigh turns up, that right thigh presses up. 1 more breath. Good, inhale, stand all the way up. Oi, exhale, release the arms. Boy, that was fun. Shoulders relax. All right, step a little bit back on your mat, both feet together, left hand on your left hip. Lift your right knee up, give your right knee a nice big squeeze in. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, catch your right big toe. Inhale, right leg forward. Hold for 5. Can you steady your eyes on 1 point? 4. Breathe. Lift the chest. Final 2 breaths. Push down through your left foot. Straighten that left knee. 1 last breath in. Okay, listen, both hands up towards the sky. Keep the leg in front. Point the toes. Point. Lift the arms up. Lift the right leg. Smile, maybe, if it's not too forced. Lift the leg up. Lift the arms. Reach up. Up. Up is up. Go up with the leg. Up with the arms. Exhale, release. Right hand on your right hip. No fuss. Other side. Lift your left knee up. Give your left knee a nice big squeeze. Keep your right leg straight. Option to stay here or catch your left big toe. Inhale, left leg forward. Hold for 5. Eyes are steady. Chest, boom, lifts. Right leg, push down. 3 more breaths. 2. Try to keep the foot exactly where it is. Look where your foot is. Inhale. Oh, both hands up. Ooh. Point the toes. Lift that left leg. Stretch the arms up. Get the left leg up. Push down to the right foot. Everything lifts up. For 3, lift up. For 2, keep the left leg straight. For 1, and release. Well done. Walk your feet a foot behind the front of your mat. Turn your feet out a little. Come down into Malasana, a squat. Elongate your spine. Take a full breath into your body. Full breath out. Option to stay here or Bakasana. Plant your hands. Take your knees into your armpits. Look forward, shift forward, lift 1 or both feet off the ground. Hold for 5. 4, keep pushing the floor away. 3, try to straighten your arms. 2, and then step or jump back. Chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Okay, please step your right foot forward between your hands. Drop your left knee down towards the ground. And then shift your pelvis back, lengthen your right leg. Ardha Hanuman. And then begin to slide your right foot forward. Ugh. There we go. And as you slide your right foot forward, try to keep both hips facing forward. So we're not doing open splits where our hips turn to the side. We're trying to be a little more contained and keep both hips facing forward. So if we truly do this with an element of truth, for most of us, we can't go as deep as we usually can. Just because for most of us, that's where we're very, very tight. So try to turn your left hip to face forward. And if you truly honor that positioning, you probably won't go as deep as you normally can. So try not to be too hard on yourself. Just honor that this is a different position and you may not be able to go as far as you normally can in the splits just because you're trying a different position out. If you'd like, you can put a block or 2 underneath the hamstring so the hamstring is supported. And then if it's available, you can keep both hips facing forward and inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. Okay, and if that's not available, you can keep your hands on blocks or the floor. You can keep both hips facing forward, just like we've been doing in standing splits. Hips facing in the same direction. Slow, steady breath. Right thigh bone pulls back into the hip socket, left thigh pulls forward. Can you almost imagine as if you're flying, those 2 wings of a bird, truthfulness and compassion. One last deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down. And release. All right, we will come to downward dog pose. Step your left foot underneath your belly. So step your left foot about a foot or two forward. Good. Now lift your right leg up towards the sky so you have an opportunity to strengthen the hamstring. So it's always nice to kind of, after a deep hamstring stretch, to tone them back up. And then come onto your left tippy toes. Lift your left heel up. Keep both hips facing down. Option to just stay here and lift that right leg up as high as it will go. Or kick up handstand, 3 hops, split-legged hops. 2 more hops. Good. One last breath or one more hop. Good. And then just come down. We'll do the other side. Step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down. Straighten your left leg. And if it's available, slide your left heel forward. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of dead skin. Sorry. Focus, Duncan, focus. Okay, someone needs a pedicure. Keep both hips facing forward. Both hips turn to face the front. Take your time with this. There's no need to rush. And you know, if you have very different sides, like if one side's very tight and one side's very open, you know, honor that. Honor your differences. Try not to force yourself into something. So again, both hips face forward. We're not doing open splits, we're doing closed. Maybe place a block or two underneath your left hamstring if you have them. Good. And then maybe inhale, reach both hands up. You can keep both hips facing forward. If it's too much to reach the arms up, keep them on the ground. Pull the left thigh bone back into the hip socket, the right thigh forward. 3 more breaths. Breathe. Breathe into the abdomen, breathe into the rib cage. One last deep breath in, lift everything up. A beautiful exhale, release. Okay. We're almost there. Y'all are doing good. Downward dog pose. Okay. Step your right foot about a foot forward and then lift your left leg up. Keep both hips facing down. Come onto your right tippy toes. Lean more weight into your hands. Get your shoulders over your wrists. Pull your belly in. Stay here for 5 breaths or 3 split-legged hops. Maybe get stuck upside down. 2 more hops or 2 more breaths. Push the floor away. 1 last breath or hop. Good. And then come all the way down. All right, plank pose. Come right into plank. Lower all the way to your belly. Take your hands back behind you. Inhale, Shalabhasana. Lift the chest, lift the arms, lift both legs. Can you lift those legs a little higher? Lift the chest a little higher. Option 1, stay here. If it feels appropriate for you, bend your knees, reach back, grab onto your ankles or the tops of your feet. Keep your knees hip width. Lift the chest, press the feet up, and maybe begin to kick the feet back. Chest lifts, legs lift. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1 last breath, lift everything up. And exhale, release. Good. Please press back, child's pose, butt towards your heels. New downward dog. Your last downward dog. Enjoy it, savor it, celebrate it. Thank you, downward dog, for all that you do. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump through. Bend your right knee. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Option to keep the left foot in front or tuck it back beside your right foot. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, sit tall through the torso. Exhale, twist to gently look back. 4 more breaths. Three. Two. One. All right, come back to center. Spread your legs wide and then cross them the other way. Left hand comes behind you, right hand reaches up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. Steady eyes, steady breath. And come back to center. Take both legs out in front. Inhale, reach both hands up to the sky, full breath in. Exhale, fold over both legs, Paschimottanasana. Let your head release. Okay, let your head relax, let your jaw relax. Allow everything to soften. Inhale, slowly come up. And slowly lie down onto your back. Happy baby pose. Grab onto your ankles or the bottoms of your feet. And try to keep your sacrum on the ground. So can you keep your sacrum bone, kind of the base of your spine, down on the floor? Take a full breath in. Just sigh it out. And release, Shavasana.
Please take a deep breath in. And out. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take your arms overhead, give your body a big stretch. Bend both of your knees. Roll onto your right hand side. And gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Please bring your hands together in front of your chest, palms touching. Maybe as you flow through the rest of your evening or your day, before you speak or if you're thinking something, can you ask yourself, is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? Embodying ahimsa, compassion, and satya, truthfulness. Namaste.